So the NFL trade deadline is getting closer and closer to approaching, and as it begins to approach, there's one player that you may want to keep your eye on that I personally would have never thought that I would have to keep my eye on him originally. And when I first heard the headline of this rumor, I thought it was a little ridiculous. And then when I saw Sean Payton's reaction, I was like, okay, they may be onto something here. Now, before we get to the content, guys, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications so you can enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5. The next generation of consoles is here in about 2.5 weeks. So if you want a chance to come up on a free console, make sure you're subscribed and are part of my Noti gang. Whether you're old or new, you'll enter for a chance to win a PS5. If you want additional chances to win a PlayStation 5, make sure you're followed on Instagram and Twitter as well. And we just dropped our merchandise, our very first edition of merch to celebrate this channel hitting 100,000 subscribers. And it's a remarkable way to support the channel and keep me full-time on YouTube. And it's a great way to say that you're a day one OG supporter of the channel, because we're going to be coming out with new editions of this merch as time goes on, and we're going to keep growing in followers and subscribers, but there's only going to be a select few that will be able to say, hey Mike, I am such a big supporter of your channel that I have your first edition 100k gold subscriber merch. A link to that's in the description down below, microphone.org. And now that we got all of that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, the source of this rumor comes from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk on NBC Sports. And the rumor kind of seems very plausible if you think about it, but at the same time, not very much so. Because in recent games, if you watch the New Orleans Saints play without Michael Thomas, Drew Brees has definitely began to look more mortal recently. His arm strength just simply isn't there as much as it used to be. And most importantly, his deep threat wide receiver, Michael Thomas, is not there either. Okay, I'm going to stop making jokes about Michael Thomas's ability to run deep routes or his route tree throughout the entire duration of this video, or else I'm going to do my best to. You see, originally, Michael Thomas couldn't have played because 6 weeks ago, he suffered a high ankle sprain. But here's the thing. Once Michael Thomas was able to come back 2 weeks ago, the Saints suspended him for throwing a punch at a teammate during practice. And if there's one thing I really like about Michael Thomas is he really tends to wear his emotions on his sleeve. So in regards to the incident about 11 days ago, he went to Twitter to let everyone be known where his head was at. So the first thing he tweeted was, "You ain't a snake, but they will make you." Then he said, "Think what you want, I ain't trying to clear no rumors up." And then finally, when a fan asked him, "So are you healthy now? Please tell me you won't be sitting out next game," Mike Thomas said, "I was never healthy. I was just trying to help my team get a win and heal up during the bye. Had a setback, was so close, and I take my health serious, but now I'm a bad guy. LOL bet." So really what's going on here at this point is there's beginning to be this rumor that the New Orleans Saints are interested in trading Michael Thomas now that the NFL trade deadline is drawing near. And the argument for this is, at one point, at the same time, trading Michael Thomas would result in a $20 million cap savings for 2021. And they would avoid a $12.6 million salary for Michael Thomas, which would drop the net cap cost to $7.4 million. And they're already paying Drew Brees $22.65 million. And if Drew Brees retires after the current season, the Saints could end up carrying $42.65 million in cap charges for two guys who are no longer on the team, in a year that may have a total cap of only $175 million due to the pandemic and the fact that the NFL can't generate revenue from fans coming to games and purchasing overpriced beers and overpriced concessions and parking and whatnot. Florio continues to say that 2 weeks ago, the Saints sent a crystal clear message to Michael Thomas and to the rest of the league. Thomas is on thin ice in New Orleans, regardless of whether he doesn't crash through it. The dispute that the Saints allowed to become public operates as an invitation to bid on Thomas, without the Saints losing leverage by actively soliciting bids. Now, look, before I dive into the validity of this rumor, the only team that I would think would be a remarkable fit for Michael Thomas aside from the New Orleans Saints would probably be the New England Patriots. And originally, whenever there was that rumor about Antonio Brown and another rumor about Julio Jones being on the trade block came out, I kind of questioned the validity of that rumor because Cam Newton isn't necessarily known for throwing deep balls to his wide receivers, but Michael Thomas is a little bit different. He doesn't really run deep routes, and he's going to be able to capitalize upon Cam Newton's proficiency for shorter to mid-range routes. Drew Brees thus far hasn't had his greatest season in terms of passing accuracy and yards thrown. His arm definitely seems to have lost a lot of juice recently, and so far he has 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and has thrown for over 1,300 yards on a 71% completion percentage. And for Drew Brees, 71%, and this is remarkable to say, 71% is actually fairly low for Drew Brees, which is insane if you think about it because of how accurate he's been throughout his career. Now, you have to bear in mind that Sean Payton actually came out and commented on this rumor. And when he saw this rumor on Bleacher Report Gridiron, he responded back to the rumor by saying, "Insiders on the outside are where they belong." Ha ha! Now look, every single time a coach comments on a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the team's going to go. So I want you guys to let me know, should Bleacher Report and Mike Florio cut the cap on the Michael Thomas rumors, or do you think that there's some validity to this rumor? And we're going to investigate this for the next minute and a half. But I want you guys to take a moment to comment, cut the cap, or this is valid. So let's dive into this logically, shall we? If you think about it, there's a ton of teams in the NFC that have to give up on their season this year. The entire NFC East, for example, the Atlanta Falcons, the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions are all teams that may consider punting on this season. And we saw the Minnesota Vikings already punt on this season when they traded away Yannick Ngakoue, despite him having a remarkable season so far. But in the case of the New Orleans Saints, they're probably my favorite team to make it into the wild card. And on top of that, if they don't win their division, and there's a good chance they don't win their division, not because they're not good enough, but the NFC South is absolutely loaded this year. After the Buccaneers acquired Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, and more recently Antonio Brown, they've been a superpower in the NFC South. And on top of that, the Carolina Panthers currently have as many wins as the New Orleans Saints. Combine that with the fact that this might be Drew Brees' final season with the New Orleans Saints, or maybe his second to final season with the New Orleans Saints. And this is probably his final opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And I just don't see the Saints saying in the middle of the season, hey, we're going to try to save some cap space and save some money by trading away Michael Thomas. That just doesn't seem plausible to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you ask me, I feel like the media is trying to come out here and generate a trade rumor, because you could logically generate a trade rumor out of this. If a player comes back from injury and punches a teammate in the face in the middle of a practice, and then that team ends up suspending that player for a couple of games, and that player still has yet to see the field, then the media has an opportunity to generate some BS narrative just so they could generate some extra clicks for you guys to eat up on the internet. So personally, if you ask me, I'm with Sean Payton on this. I don't think it makes sense for the Saints to trade Michael Thomas. They're not anywhere near a rebuild. They're not going to undergo a rebuild in the middle of the season. They're all in on trying to win one last Lombardi trophy for Drew Brees and Sean Payton as a duo. So let me know in the comment section down below if there's a part of this rumor that you think I may have missed. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.